You're also claircognizant.
Okay.
And you're clairsentient. Okay, so this is... I knew that.
Okay, explain to me and everybody here.
Okay. Claircognizance is psychic knowing. It is connected to your solar plexus, which is like right here in your stomach. It's your gut instinct.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's your gut instinct, and you should always trust that. Okay?
Yeah,
So again, that's that channel of communication that's open, that your spirit guide is pushing information through, and like, you just know things.
Yeah.
You just, okay?
That's a mix for me.
And then you're also clairsentient, which is your heart chakra.
Okay.
This is, we were talking about the anxiety and like, okay. So your heart chakra is your psychic feeling.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. These two, you have to have these two and to work together in order to feel energy, which you do. That's what I was going to say. I think you have a couple more that we're going to talk about if you felt that energy. And not everybody can. If you happen to feel spirit energy, like you feel like something is around, or you walk into a room and you're probably feeling a ghost, or it could be like a family member visiting, or spirit of some kind, then you're clairsentient and claircognizant.
So it's super interesting because there's like a couple things. So like with the gut one, I think for me, I have noticed that there's certain things that like, and I try to explain it to a couple of friends. It's like, I see this happening for you. Like, I doubt myself. Like, it's just a natural instinct for me. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I don't know what it is. I'm not going to pretend like I have any idea what it is. It's just, I don't know how to explain it, except for like, there's been several situations where, and it's, so far it's always been for somebody else's like future. And I'm like, I see this happening, and it's not like, I think this is going to happen. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but like, I almost feel like I wasn't going to say this to you because I thought it was just common knowledge. Like, it just is so, yeah, this is what's going to happen. Like, that makes sense. That's what's going to happen.
Right.
But then I have, like, other gut instincts where I think, like, with trauma and then, of course, a bunch of narcissistic relationships, I have been, like, taught to, like, question myself constantly. So, like, I'm, like, pretty much explain it, like, I have gone through stages in the past before I started working on my healing where, like, I don't know which way is up. I don't even, is this sky blue? I don't know, maybe it's not, that bad from, like, some really bad narcissistic relationships that I had. So it's, like, it's that journey of, like, trying to relearn how to trust my gut in all aspects. So that's interesting.
I can tell you from experience that, having psychic ability, a big part of it is learning to trust yourself.
Yeah.
And I understand completely, like, how, like, trauma and how you view yourself plays into that.
Yeah.
Your psychic abilities are yours.
Okay.
And they have nothing to do with anyone else.
Okay.
No one can take them from you, and no one can change it.
Okay. And the other one that you mentioned was the
Heart.
feeling. You could feel spirits. It's interesting because...
Yeah, that's a combination of two. You have to have those specific two psychic abilities in order to feel spirit energy.
Yeah, so I feel like I've had that, but of course I always question it, and I'm always like, maybe it's just my mind,
Oh, I used to do that all the time, too. I would make other people, like, walk in this room. Do you feel something? No, they didn't. So, of course, I
didn't even go that far, because I wasn't going to risk anybody else knowing.
I did, because I didn't know.
It was probably like 15, 20 minutes after I hung out with my dad, after that conversation, and I just had this strange feeling, and it was like, I had no idea at this point that my grandma had passed. But I had this strange, overwhelming, loving feeling that she was in here with me, and I literally, like, I could have been like, I don't know if this is happening, this is real, but I just, like, you know what, like, I just went with it. I'm like, I talked with my grandma, and I'm like, I figured, I told myself, if anything, it's going to be good healing for me mentally, at the very least, kind of like a coping mechanism, if it's not actually happening. And so I just, like, I'm really glad that you're here. Like, I wanted to show you, like, the place that I own, and, like, I'm really proud of myself, and, like, just to be able to, I had this little conversation, and then I'm like, I just kind of didn't know what else to say, and I'm like, thanks for hanging out, if you need to go, I understand. And, like, then I felt her leave, and I think, for me, it felt like she was leaving to see somebody else. Like, she saw me first, and then she was gone, but it was, like, a peaceful thing. And then my dad messaged me a few minutes later, like, yeah, they just called me, she just passed away like shortly after I left, which was like 30, like was the same time that happened. I'm like, okay, that's a little too coincidental for me. Like, that's crazy. So I just find that interesting. So
Yeah. Well, what's interesting too is whenever someone dies, they their door for them, which is a portal, doesn't actually open for them to cross over. Usually until the time of their memorial service.
okay,
Which is, I mean, it varies, but it's roughly about a week, let's say. 5-ish days a week, something like that. So everyone spends a little bit of time as a ghost
okay,
before their door opens.
get some haunting in.
Yeah, and it's so that they can visit family and see everybody
That's
and
nice.
all that kind of stuff. They do still from the other side, but it is kind of their little like wrap up.
Yeah.
So I, without being able to confirm that positively, you
Yeah.
very well could.